Hello, everybody. How's everyone on this Monday, September 25th? Hope everyone's having a good day. I actually just came on here for a few minutes to give everybody a public safety warning about human trafficking, sex slavery trafficking, killer Ontario provincial police, and the wanted harbored inmates and junkies that are aiding them in Napanee, in their human trafficking, in their sex slavery, in their drug trafficking. I'm the victim of full identity theft, in their torture crimes. They're guilty of medical blacklisting, false arrest, kidnapping, sex assault as well, having my mother stalked and murdered for revenge retaliation, along with two of my dogs because of me speaking of Ontario Provincial Police crimes, the human homeless trafficking out of a place called the Morning Star Mission here at the time. Ones that are criminally involved in aiding OPP cops in their crimes for drop charges, money, drugs, freedom. This is Dale Hartwick, possibly shaped goatee now. Goes between Kingston and Napanee. He's originally from Charlotte Lake. Ontario. This is a Ray LeBlanc. These are people that are stalkers and human traffickers with OPP that the public needs to be aware of. This guy lives behind Mamma Mia's Pizzeria here in Napanee. He's a drug trafficker and a child groomer. The bald-headed guy, his name is Blair Hardy. He's boyfriend to Ontario Provincial Police cop Spencer Mills. He's a drug trafficker. He laces fentanyl and sells it to homeless for murders. He's guilty of rapes, and he's guilty of identity theft and attempted murder. The other guy, his name is Bill Woldridge, or was going by Bill Woldridge. He is a stalker, a human trafficker. These two are guilty of murdering my mother, S. Wood, in December of 2020 for OPP Spencer Mills 147 Revenge and Stacy, a mental health worker. Conveniently, nobody can be arrested without $22,000 either for extortion arrest. This guy here, his name is Bert Hustler. This little punk here is Tyler Teabag Lake. He tortures animals and he's guilty of murdering my dogs. This is Tony Hearns. His name is Tony Hearns. He's Axel Rose of Napanee. He's a human trafficker, a speed trafficker, and he's guilty of attempted murder. They all are. Jason Gimpy Two-Step Vinalstein. He goes by frequents Napanee and Kingston, especially the hub in Kingston where he sells laced fentanyl to the homeless for murders. This is another picture of him. And this is Blair Hardy and Jason Vinalstein, which is hard to see. Ex-chief or commander before leaving Napanee in 2019 drove a white Jeep Wrangler, had me shot by something on the corner of Center Street and Bridge approximately 3 p.m. in the afternoon. It was in August. He is a pedophile sex slavery trafficker, and he's guilty of attempted murder with intent for me speaking of their human homeless trafficking crimes out of the Morning Star Mission at the time. There's Spencer Mills 14716, Staff Sergeants, years 2019-2021, guilty of sodomy, sex assault, and kidnapping. Shannon Cork. Robert Kane, 7224, he is a drug cop. Robert Lucas, a mental health worker named Stacy, was Daily Tea Company, Napanee, now Kingston, and Shelley Huffner. She had me kidnapped May 27, 2021, through a Judge Chappelle in Kingston under false pretenses, where they had my blood and piss forced from me. When they found out what they had done 24 hours after me asking for public help, they turned around and they fucked off and left me. That was done in hopes to, well, they got my blood and piss, and it was also in an attempt to shut me up as well for what has happened to me. Medical blacklisting, treatment refusals, discriminations, lies, time-buying cover-ups, being falsely arrested to keep me from medical help, assuring this happens to me, and I am also the end of my bloodline as well. And there has been nothing I can do about it. My skull has been split. My brain's been split. I have serious lung and kidney damages. I have tubes going in me now that I've never had before. And how the fuck they got there, I have no idea, but I do have them, and it can all be medically proven. My neck has been completely and totally stretched and elongated. My skull's been deformed to about 50 different shapes and sizes, and I've shown it and proven it, and I can prove a lot more. I've been through about 50 different identity changes, and I've shown it and can 100% prove it, while being called delusional, hallucinating retard from doctors because of bullshit lies against me, lies about being suicidal, self-harmer. Not true in any way, shape, or form. If I was that way, I would just go ahead and do it. I've been trying to save my life, and I've been trying to save my bloodline as well. Lies about drugs that I do not do. I overdosed back in 2012, and that was my awakening pretty much. I'm glad it happened. I did do drugs at one time, and I had an overdose, and it was my awakening. I've not done any since. Lies about that bullshit. Lies about having long criminal record and history. Not true in any way, shape, or form. I was never charged I never had one until I was previously charged by the hospital for harassment, for wanting help and naming names of doctors and others who are guilty of aiding and co-committing with criminal negligent intent in these crimes against me. I'm having trouble thinking. I'm having trouble walking. I'm having trouble talking a lot of the times. I'm having problems when I eat now because of the damage that's been done to me. My food goes to the right side of my body, not my stomach. I have a collapsed lung. I have kidney damage. I've been sex assaulted. I hate to talk about this, but I've been sex assaulted by the cops, ripped open and everything else, and me going to the hospital and doctors and them laughing in my face over it and them trying to have me committed for having it happen to me and wanting help. And because of the bullshit lies against me that the cops are using their badges, positions, their lies, their false guise of law to be above suspicion of the crimes that they are committing. And this is why they are so successful. There is also a justice of the peace here. As a matter of fact, last time I've been surrounded, hands on guns, by the police trying to get arrested. I went to the Justice of the Peace many times to try to get private prosecutions on people while being denied, having her laugh in my face, accusing me of being high on marijuana over being sex assaulted because who it was done to and from. Doctors trying to have me committed, and I have it in writing because of me being sex assaulted and wanting help. Doctors at KGH hospital in Kingston, and I have this in writing because of me talking and going through my identity theft, them marking me down as being delusional and hallucinating it with not seeing any proof because who the bullshit lies are being cast from. Families are murdered and missing. It is Ontario Provincial Police with these pieces of shit. For freedom, drugs, money, drop charges is how OPP, the police, are going about doing their crimes. $22,000 for extortion arrest against these people, knowing I'm on disability and I can't afford that. Yeah, they're guilty of disability crimes. They're guilty of hate crimes. They're guilty of domestic terrorism because they are using what is called R&M on me. That's what I was shot with back in 2019. It happens to be a nano microchip implant that a lot of people are not aware of, which benefits the cops using this bullshit on their victims. It's designed to destroy a person's central nervous system, and it also enables for invasive surveillance. And as crazy as that may sound, it is 100% true. After the ex-OPP chief back in August of 2019 had me shot in the right ear, it went down my head to the back of my head up to my parietal lobe, and it started to burn really, really bad. That's when I went to the hospital to try to get some help. In November of that year, I got a CAT scan done. After that, because of Stacy, the one mental health worker, was there talking to the doctor, her girlfriend, now known to be her girlfriend at the time. After my CAT scan, I was medically blacklisted. I was pretty much told I needed medication. And every other time I would go to a hospital, all I would get is I seen your file, I seen your file, I seen your file. I had not been to a hospital or a doctor in approximately 7 to 10 years prior to this happening to me being shot. No neurological problems either. I certainly have them now. I can't even go to a hospital without getting a doctor's note. My legal rights, my medical rights, and my human rights have been taken from me. And like I have stated, I am also the end of my bloodline as well. So by them committing this crime on me, full physical identity theft and changes, with the intent to frame me as a harbored inmate sex offender. The guy was told that he is my dad. He thinks that we were switched at birth. He believes that he is also Harry Potter too. And when he was stalking my mother, he was calling my mother mom as well. He lives at 149 Center Street North. I was by his place today talking to my cousin who lives across the road at my previous address. He came out mouthing something, walked across the road towards us, and as soon as he walked across the road towards us, a black and white OPP followed him up Center Street here in Napanee going towards No Frills. And this was approximately at 12 p.m. this afternoon. The guy cannot be touched. He will not be touched. He is the one that owns the cops. He is alleged Hells Angels Ontario chapter captain as well. He was stalking kids for the ex-OPP chief for their sex slavery trafficking. And when I got his picture and was talking about the bullshit, he conveniently disappeared for a while and then showed up living at 149 Center Street North. He frequents Loaf and Ale, coffee cravings here in Napanee. He goes to Picton, Toronto, where he gets his heroin and his opium. He is a trafficker as well. The guy is highly psychotic, highly delusional. It is a huge issue. It is a gang stalker, by the way. Hello, Leslie. Yeah, I believe they probably do have Harry Potter stuff there in Universal Studios in Florida, Hollywood, Florida. Whatever the hell that's about. How are you today, Leslie? I hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing good because myself, I'm certainly not. I am in excruciating pain right now, and it feels like I am going about 1,000,000 miles an hour. I'm having trouble thinking, walking, talking. It's been a real bad day. I've been having a lot of changes happening to me over the course of today. and showing it on my Facebook and other stuff because of what's going on. I'm going through serious identity theft, and I go through identity changes pretty much on an hourly basis sometimes, and I have to take a lot of pictures and video to show it to prove that this is actually really happening to me because of me being called delusional and hallucinating it with 100% proof. And this is why and how these bastards are getting away with everything. But like I said, they're the cops, doctors, a justice of the peace, a wanted harbored inmate sex offender, and junkies around Napanee who OPP are using to commit their crimes. As a matter of fact, if they're getting paid $300 a day from OPP for this, over the course of 4 years, OPP has forked out $2,190,000 to these pieces of shit. Yeah, well, that's a good first step. At least it's starting. It's showing something, Leslie. And myself, I'm a very spiritual person too, whether anybody thinks so or not. Very, very spiritual. I'm not religious, but I am very spiritual. But yeah, what you should do is actually do some videos and take some more pictures to start showing as well. Thank you. I am. Well, and I'm sorry to hear that. Mine are too. Mine were completely rotted out from all the bullshit and EMFs and everything. I hate to show it, but I only have one tooth left, and it has nothing to do with drugs. Nothing whatsoever. It started to happen once all of this shit was going on with me, and they were burned out of my head, and they started to go completely rotten. So I had to get them pulled. And that was done in an attempt to make me look like a fucking meth head or a crackhead junkie like the rest of the garbage that's doing this to me. And the worst part is I know exactly who is doing all of this to me, and there is nothing I can do. If you can tell, you can see the split in my head down the center of my head, and you can see where there's a difference on the right side of my head here, where it's bulged up a little bit more than this. It's because my skull's been split, and I have two people using R&M on me on each side. As crazy as that sounds. And no, I am not. No mental illnesses. I don't hear voices. There's no delusions. I don't think I'm somebody I'm not. I don't hear voices or nothing like that. So that's bullshit. But I've my skull's been split straight down the middle, and I have a spot on the back of my head when I start getting everything done to me that bulges out and burns like a son of a bitch. The skin, it will burn so bad the skin will actually start to peel off it. And I have absolutely no feeling in my head. I'm rubbing my head and I see I'm doing it, but to actually feel it, I feel nothing. I've not had any stimulation in my brain, in my skull, or nothing in a very long time, in probably almost a year. Me getting rushed to the hospital by ambulance and everything else, them saying that there is stuff wrong, but me going to the hospital, not being treated, not being taken serious, having to almost crawl out of hospitals and bring taxis home because of not being seen from being discriminated against while this shit's going on with me. Another reason the police are getting away with this is because they have a lot of people to fucking back them up, and this is why it's being done to the poor, homeless, elderly, and disabled, and any natives that have gone missing, human trafficked, or were killed. It is the police that are involved with these crimes. families of murdered and missing for natives, it is the police involved with these crimes. They are serious fucking hate criminals as well. And I am not saying that with any kind of hate, because I had no association with any of them prior to 2019 and all of this happening to me. While the cops are sitting on their fucking asses, and they can even prove my identity theft and changes from the false arrest that they've done on me, from getting my pictures and everything else over the course of 2 times. They can tell the differences of what's happening to me and what has happened to the identity changes. And the only reason I was arrested was in their attempt to fucking be above suspicion of their crimes against me, in an attempt to get out of them, in an attempt to try to discriminate me, in an attempt to try to criminalize me. I am the one that's paying for their crimes on me. I'm the victim of the police and all these other ones, and I am the one that has to pay with my life and my mother's life, my dog's life, and my full, complete identity changes because of these bastards. And I hope this is remembered. Anyway, I am going to get off here. I just wanted to come on and do this live and say hello to everybody. And I hope everybody is having a good day. And I hope everybody stays safe and stays strong. Watch yourselves and your children, because they are guilty of pedophilia, sex slavery, trafficking as well. Watch your finances. Disability, welfare, pension thefts and frauds, bank thefts or bank frauds as well. They're guilty of. So Dale Hartwick, Tony Hearns, Blair Hardy, Billy Wooldridge, or any of the other ones named in this town, you watch yourself around them, because they are murdering pieces of shit, and they are rat informant lowlives who are working with them for the fucking cops. Well, thank you, Leslie. I hope I'm helping, but at the same time, you're also helping me as well. They are very sick, very, very fucking sick. The Freemasons, the cops, the fraternal orders. That's right. They are all going to be exposed. Every single one of the bastards, because they are the ones behind all of this as well. But no matter how much I've shown and proven, I've not been able to get medical help, not been able to get legal help. Every single right I have as a human has been taken from me, so these bastards can do this to me. I can just imagine how many others are sitting in Quincy Detention Center or in other jails and prisons, falsely accused, going through identity theft and being fucked over, or being falsely sent to mental hospitals through bullshit lies on their victims to completely fuck them. How many have you actually done that to, OPP? How much was I sold for? How much was my bloodline sold for? How much money was made from the murder of my mother and dogs, you pieces of shit? Okay, I'm going to get off here. Love all, hate none. Be safe.